Here we go, guys. Moving on. Yes, I've got the same thing on because I'm giving you chapter 8. Let's keep it going from definition to down. Let's do it. All right, this chapter is the Dope Jam Tour. Oh, yes. Chapter 8. Let's go. Here we are. And again, if I make any mistakes, a lot of times I just keep them in there and we just keep going. All right, so pardon moi. All right, keeping it as organic as I can. Chapter 8, Dope Jam Tour. It was all so jazz. People talk about the early days of jazz when everyone was broke and singing for their supper, playing music till the early hours, going to clubs every night, and everyone in the scene knew each other. That's how it was with hip hop, especially at that time, because it was much smaller, the scene. LA's community was tight knit, and Tracy was the leader of the growing rap movement. To me, listen, his hustle would not only pave the way for NWA, King T, Too Short, Sir Mix-a-Lot, legitimizing West Coast rap, but it would go on to inspire an entire genre, gangster rap, as others were calling it. He always thought of it as just reality, his reality, and he used to call it reality rap. Before I met him, he lived that hardcore street life, and most of his homeboys were still living that life. As he went legit, he tried to take as many people with him as he could. A lot of his homeboys would go on tour with him, and he'd find them jobs doing merch, sound, tour managing, or even just handling bags. He never cut his ties with the streets of South LA. And even when you watch the early videos, it's always at friends' homes, somewhere in the streets of South Central. He always kept it real, and that's one of the reasons he got so much love and respect. In 1987, here we are watching his album blow up. The single is popping on K-Day. People are recognizing him on the street, and we get a call from the label. You're going out on tour. We'd hit the big time. It was the Dope Jam Tour, rap's first big national arena tour to also include a West Coast rapper. And Tracy wanted me by his side. The tour was going to be 4 months long, and we even got to pick out our tour bus. It was the biggest one we could find, and the first thing Tracy did was invite Biz Markie to share our bus. Till this day, whenever I see Biz, it's like family. And at that time, you guys remember that I wrote this book in 2015, so rest in peace, Biz. Till this day, whenever I see Biz, it's like family. Imagine this. Public Enemy, Eric B. and Rakim, Dougie Fresh, Slick Rick, Boogie Down Productions, Kool Moe Dee, Biz Markie, and Ice-T, all on the same tour. Rap was still so fresh and new, we had no idea how Tracy would be received outside of LA. The first night of the tour was in Austin, Texas, and when he hit that stage, the crowd went nuts. They knew his music. We couldn't believe it. They were singing along to his lyrics. It was surreal because we didn't know how the crowd would feel, but they knew who he was and they showed him so much love. It was like that night. It was like that night, night after night. Each city the artist performed sold out to sold out crowds. And I used to pinch myself to make sure it was real. This was really going down. I mean, every night I'm watching Tracy from the side of the stage, and as soon as he was finished, he'd grab my hand and we'd go out into the crowd and watch our favorite other artists perform because we were fans of theirs. We did this night after night after night. We filmed the entire tour, documenting it because we knew it was so special. Tracy's set looked elaborate, but since everything on tour comes out of an artist's pocket, he'd put Antoine in charge of design. Antoine conjured up a cop car made out of wood that looked like a real one. Now, mind you, this is way before, like years after that, a lot of other people tried to duplicate what he did. He was the first one. I was there. I witnessed it. Just to let you know. It was made out of wood, and it was just an excellent replica of a police car. It had a siren that would go off, and Tracy could jump up on the top of it and perform. He was smart. Because other acts had spent a lot of money on props and the way Tracy had it rigged, he actually made money on tour despite being one of the opening acts. He was determined to make rhyme pay, and he succeeded in doing it. Living with Biz on that bus was a blast. My face hurt from the constant laughter. He was so entertaining. Biz was always clowning around, and we made a sport out of watching the groupies exit the hotel rooms and tour buses from town to town every morning. No one would ever want to admit who was with who, so Biz and I would try to figure it out from the windows of the bus. Did you see that? I don't even want to use the words. Again, mind you, this is back in 2015 when I wrote this book. They were still using words like that. I'm just going to change it for the sake of the words we're using now. Did you see that? Did you see that little person out of the hotel just now? I'd say, was she with you, Biz? Or was she with DJ Evil E? Biz would immediately turn it into a song, but no one would ever cop to who had slept with her that night before. We called it the Walk of Shame. Groupies were everywhere, and one time Biz was rolling backstage on a bicycle, and he pulled a girl's ponytail. It came right off on his hands, and he was holding it up like a flag. Kind of cruel, but it was silly and funny at the time, mind you. You know how young we were? Well, that was crazy. There were groupies everywhere. Some took it too far, and when I couldn't shake this one guy, talking about male groupies, backstage male groupies would hit on me, and some took it too far. But when I couldn't shake this one guy one time, no lie, Professor Griff and Public Enemy's S1Ws came to my rescue. It was just like that. We were one big family, the East Coast and the West Coast coming together. When we weren't at arenas, we were poolside in cheap hotels or trying to find the nearest mall. We had paper now. The guys would buy sneakers and I'd get new bikinis. Money was burning a hole in our pocket, and we just looked for some nonsense, some bullshit to spend it on. Tracy was smart, though, because he kept his merch rights, so many artists would sell their merchandise rights for a big chunk of change, but not him. But then that was it. They didn't own their property anymore. Tracy, on the other hand, did it right. He had an excellent attorney, financial manager, and accountant, and they advised him well. Antoine designed the shirts, and they sold big. The hot seller was a white crew neck with a big T in the center with the word ice graffitied on it, right inside of an Uzi, right in the middle. In Kansas City, some of Tracy's boys gave a bootlegger a beat down. I remember that. Because he was selling iced tea shirts that weren't iced tea sanctioned. You know how that happens at concerts all the time. That was a big no-no, and they took his wad away. We became friends with KRS-One, who was one of the nicest guys on earth. People were so intimidated. People were so intimidated by him because he's so smart, but he's also very humble. We watched his set every night for those 4 months, riveted by each word. Flavor Flav and Chuck D were at the height of their fame, and people would do anything just to be near them. Flavor was cut from the same cloth as Biz, and the two of them were a circus sideshow unto themselves. Chuck was quiet and laid back, soaking it all in, and he really embraced Tracy and I. He respected Tracy's music and where he was coming from, and the respect was definitely mutual. It had been less than a year since I'd quit my job. I was still a kid in my eyes, and I was living this crazy, wonderful life, going from town to town with artists who I would have bought tickets to see. I would have been first in line for that Dope Jam tour, but I was Tracy's girl, and I was backstage. I was on the bus. I was in videos, and I was about to become famous myself. There we go. That's chapter 8. Woo, wait, what? Should I keep going? I don't know. This is fun. And that one only had, that's got let me see. Does that have, that has, that only had one picture at the end of that. Oh, with ice and okay, flavor. Oh, see, that was a short chapter. Let me see how long this one is. Should I? Okay. You know what? Ooh, that next one is a long one. Ooh, okay. So we're gonna take a break on that one. Whoo! That next one is called Power. Oh my goodness. So exciting. Anyway, so there we go. That was chapter 7 and 8. Ooh, excuse me. Excited to do I'll do two next too, 9 and 10, but that was great. Let me get those ready. I have to send that to my friend to help me with those. Make sure the sound is okay for you guys and everything. So listen, thank you so much, whoever is in here and listen. The more I can get these the views picked up on things and subscribers, I cannot wait to start doing lives. This is just also nice and new. I'll be able to communicate with you guys. I want to get a Discord going. I want to do live Q&As. This is going to be a lot of fun. So again, I appreciate um, you hanging in here with me at Darlene's World. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, extremely, extremely sad during the holidays, but I got through it and here I am back again. I bounce back. I get into this little zone where I really miss my dad and my grandma, but I'm go. Ooh, I don't want to get emotional. So there we go. Chapter 8, chapter 7. I'll do the other two at the end of this week and do some other great things. Listen, again, thanks so much, you guys. Really appreciate it. So let me take these off again. Oof. Try to focus. And again, I'm going to talk about me losing some of this hair. A lot of it has to do, I got telogen effluvium again. A lot of it has to do with me allowing a lot of things to get to me, stressing out. So when I get stressed, I lose some hair. Might not look it. I do a lot. This is facade. I'm gonna tell you how I do it on a whole other video. But this is just, I even have that little powder touch up right in here. If I have it parted in the middle, whoo, that's the worst area. But this is just all a little facade to make it look like I'm all. I think I just spit right there. Anyway, listen, I'm back. And that's all I got to say. And I am grateful and thankful for life and being here and being able to do this. This is just incredible. So thank you again. And on that note, peace out until the next time. Ooh, I gotta do these nails.